In the next few minutes, I'm going to completely rewire how your brain processes judgment. And once you see this, you can't unsee it. Here's the thing nobody tells you about being judged: you think you're the main character in everyone else's story. But here's what's actually happening: you're not the villain in their story. You're not even a side character. You're a commercial break they skip. Let me prove it to you with what I call the spotlight reversal. Think about the last wedding you went to. Now, can you remember what the third person who spoke at the reception wore? No. How about the name of the person who sat 2 tables away from you? These were main characters at that event. And you've already deleted them from your memory. Now think about your most embarrassing moment from last month. The one that keeps you up at night. The one you're sure everyone remembers. Plot twist: nobody else was recording that moment in HD like you were. While you're rewatching it in 4K IMAX in your head every night, they've already forgotten it happened. Here's the actual psychology: it's called the spotlight effect. We think we're under a spotlight 24/7. But here's what's really happening: everyone else is also under their own spotlight in their own head. They're the star of their own movie, and in their movie, you're barely an extra. Think about it. When was the last time you spent more than 30 seconds thinking about someone else's awkward moment? Never. Because you're too busy replaying your own mistakes. So if you're not thinking about other people's cringe moments, why would they be thinking about yours? They're not. They're thinking about themselves. And here's the real secret: the people who judge you the hardest, they're doing it because you're doing something they're too afraid to do. You posted that video, you wore that outfit, you shared that opinion. You existed loudly. And that scares people who are living quietly. Here's your homework. I want you to do one thing this week that you've been avoiding because of fear of judgment. Post that selfie, share that idea, wear those clothes, say that thing. And when you feel that anxiety creeping in, I want you to remember, the person you're afraid of, they're sitting at home right now, afraid of the exact same thing. Afraid you're judging them. The only difference between you and the people who seem fearful: they realize this truth first. Nobody's watching as closely as you think. Nobody's keeping score. Nobody's even paying attention. Because they're all too busy worrying about themselves. Look, I'm not saying judgment doesn't exist. People will always have opinions. But here's what I am saying: their opinions are temporary. Their memory is terrible. And their judgment, it says way more about them than it ever will about you. You've got one life. One chance to do the weird, brave, embarrassing, beautiful things you want to do. And you're really going to waste it worried about what some random person thinks for 4 seconds before they forget you exist. You're better than that. If this shifted something in your brain, hit subscribe. And drop a comment telling me the one thing you're going to do this week that you've been too afraid to do. I'll be reading every single one. Now go be cringe. Go be awkward. Go be yourself.